Hello guys, welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. In this video we're not gonna drive, but we're gonna have a quick look on all the trucks available and all the chassis and all that, what is going on with that. Those are options that you can get on this. You have base trucks in the beginning and so on, but it all most of these things are locked behind certain levels. If I'm not mistaken, the highest you need to get is like level 30, and if you are level 30, which I am not yet at the moment, I'm level 21, but if you are level 30 then you have everything unlocked, going from the wheels to the engines to the chassis and all that. But there is this about button here next to the close down, and you can click on that, and the top one is like credits, and on the bottom one you can look at the trailers. For instance, if you click on that, you have all the different trailers in the game for car transport. Then you can see cars, and you have different cars and different colors, but they're all Skodas apparently. Open trailers where you have like tanks or pipes, ventilation things and so on. All kind of different things, all kind of different trailers, and that you can have a look on that if you want to have a look on that. But if you click on the about again and you go for the middle one, you have experimental with the trucks. Which basically gives you an idea. There you can look on what are the options, what are the engines, what is everything available in the game. Will you can be looking at it over here. Because if you're new to the game, you cannot do that because most of the things are locked. But they are kind of unlocked on here. So first of all, there are 7 brands in this game, going from DAF up to Volvo in alphabetical order. You have the DAF XF105, which runs Euro 5 engines. It's kind of an older model. The newer model, also DAF XF, but this time Euro 6 engines in this thing. So the same goes for Iveco. You have the Iveco Stralis, kind of an older model, Euro 5 engines. You have the Iveco Stralis Highway, and as it says here, E6, those are Euro 6 engine. It's kind of pretty simple. Then you have the MAN TGX, also here. It's an older model, only runs Euro 5 engines, including a V8, which it does not run anymore now, and so on. Then we go to Mercedes-Benz. It has the Actros, the previous model, which runs on Euro 5 engine, and you have the new Actros, which is the current model, and that runs on Euro 6 engines. The region Euro 5, Euro 6, this game was developed in 2012, came out in 2013 somewhere, and that was just the point when they were switching from Euro 5 to Euro 6, which are European emission norms, has to do with pollution and global warming and all that kind of stuff. And it basically means for this game, Euro 6 engines are more fuel efficient and ultra better engines, so if you have to choose one, go for Euro 6 if you can. Then we go to Renault. You have the Renault Premium, no longer in production, and you have the Renault Magnum. Both of them are no longer in production, and by their fault already they are running Euro 5 engines. The Premium is replaced with the T380, I believe, and the Magnum is replaced with the T420 or 440, something like that. And I don't even know if those are still in production. Not sure about the Renault trucks. Scania, you have the Scania R, which is kind of a bit robuster, have some gaps here, things like that. And you have the Streamline, which is, yeah, as the word suggests, more streamlined. You do not have these gaps here, and all kind of other stuff going on as well. And then we have Volvo. You have the FH 13 or 16, but this is the previous version. Only runs 16 liter V8, and then you have the 2012 model. The other one was 2009. Also here the FH16, but if you change the engine to something else, then it just says FH, and that's a 13 liter, but it does not say 13 because of the connotation with, yeah, no luck and Friday the 13th and all that. So that's kind of how it works. Now then you have cabin sizes. For instance, if you take the DAF, you have normal roof, low roof, whatever it's called, different in the different brands. Most of the brands have 3 different options for the cabin. You have the normal flat roof, let's call it that. You have medium size roof, in this case it's called Space Cap Plus, makes it a bit higher and so on, and then you have the Super Space, which is the bigger roof. If you take another brand, let's for instance take the new Actros, same story here. You have the Stream Space, which is kinda the low roof. You have the Big Space, which makes it a bit higher, and you have the Giga Space, which makes it even more higher. Chassis wise, yeah, you have a 4x2. That means 4 wheels, 2 wheel drive kind of thing. Although on the end here it has a double wheel, but or double tire. But yeah, you can kind of from the outside you see 2 wheels here, 2 wheels on the other side. So it's 4 wheels times 2. That means yeah, kind of 2 wheel drive. It's 1 axle that is driven, and that obviously is the last one there. What else do you have? You have a 6x2. Kind of the same situation, but this is for heavier cargo. The 4x2, you no problem with normal cargo. Anything under 20 tons should not be a problem. If you go over 20 tons, then you probably need a bit more support, and yeah, then you go, for instance, by a 6x2. 3 wheels here, 3 wheels on the other side, so that's 6 wheels. Double wheels on most of them, and also 2 wheel driven, so only one of these axles is driven and the other one is not. You can also go for the 6x4, doesn't change anything on the visual aspect. The only thing is the drivetrain. Now both of those rear axles are driven, so it's kind of 4-wheel drive. That's more yeah, convenient for off-road. If you go to the stone mines or something in this game, you might need some bit of traction on the off-road, and then the ×4 is more interesting than the ×2, let's call it that. And then you have a few yeah, other options. Then you have the 6x2/4, and that makes it all a bit the easiest way to kind of get this is if it's a single tire, has to do with steering. If it's a double tire, it has to do with the support of the cargo. So in this case, the 6x2, it's only 2-wheel drive. The rear wheel is the rear axle is driven, and these middle wheels here, they kind of help support the steering with the front wheels, and that's for mountain roads and cities, I guess. And then you have the 6x2 tach lift. That is that's a normal 6x2, but with that difference, if you drive it like this, then you can support heavy cargo and also normal cargo. But yeah, it's kind of a bit too much if you only transporting 8 ton of 10 tons and your tires wear out and you have tire damage and all that. And that's where the tach lift comes in. You can lift up the rear tires, and only this axle is driven. If you have a heavier cargo, you put the tires down and you have more support. And sorta, yeah, in a way, same goes for this, but this has more to do with the steering than the mid lift. Then you can lift up the middle tires, but as you can see, single wheel, so those have to do with steering again. That's kinda what I make of it. If it's single wheel, it helps you steer. If it's double wheel, it helps you support the cargo. And then you have, yeah, the ultimate one, I guess. That's like everything is on there. You have an 8x4, the 2 rear axle ×4 4-wheel drive. The 2-wheel rear axles here, they are driven, so you have 4-wheel drive. And you kind of have a lifted single wheel here that you can lift up. If you put it down, you have some steering help for the front wheels. Of course, there are so many wheels that there are no more space available for the fuel tank, and so that's why this thing comes into play. The fuel tank is behind the cabin, and this kind of protect that fuel tank. That's where, but this is kind of like, yeah, for Mercedes, this is probably the ultimate you can get. The same story goes for instance, the Streamline for Scania. You have all kind of different options. Also here, normal roof, high line, and top line. That's like medium roof and high roof. But then you have, for instance, if you go to the high line, which is kind of the medium, you can do all these different chassis up to 6x4. From the moment you go to 8x4, there's only one option available, and that's the top line, the high roof. But same story as with the Mercedes. Two axles driven, 4-wheel drive, and the steering help wheel you can lift up. If you need help in the mountains, twisty roads, or in the city, you can put it down. And also here protection for the fuel tank, which is also here behind the cabin, because yeah, there's no room here. Of course, fuel wise, in the beginning of this game, it kind of matters. In a 4x2 from the Scania, this was the first truck that I bought, so I kind of know what's going on here. These are two tanks of 700 liters, and that's 1400 liters of fuel. But if you switch to some 6x2 or 6x2 tack lift, whatever, then it's only 600 liters. And then mid lift, then it even goes smaller, so I'm assuming 500 liters or something. And then with an 8x4, yeah, the fuel tank is behind the cabin, so you get a bit more fuel again. 700 or 800 liters. I think 700 for Scania, but with Mercedes it's 800 liters, I believe. And all, if you do a transport, yeah, you don't have to go to the fuel pump that many times. If you just do normal cargo, if you just transport, if you keep doing cargoes under 20 tons and you don't go too much off-road, you can just run a 4x2 and that you have 1400 liters. Then you can do like 4 or 5 transports without even have to go to fuel up. And especially in the beginning of the game, it all kind of matters, because yeah, you're always money short, and if you have to go fuel and then repair your tires and all that. So I started with the 4x2, and now I'm running a 6x2 tack lift, but I have 2 other trucks, and where they're kind of hired drivers that drive them, and they are running a 6x4. 6x4 gives 4-wheel drive, is a bit handier in the stone mines and so. Although yeah, sometimes I get stuck with the 6x2 tack lift, but you can lock the differential and then eventually you will get out there. But in the end, I'm probably gonna end up with an 8x4, and then you have steering support and you have enough support for the heavy cargo as well. So yeah, that's kind of what it goes. Engine sizes, that goes from 10 liters, 11 liters, 12 liters, 13 liters, 6 cylinders, up to 16 liters V8s. Not all the brands have V8s, but some of them do, others don't. And then yeah, especially with Scania, it's kind of a bit of a mess. You have the DC12, that's a 12 liter 6 cylinder Euro 5. You have the DC13 Euro 5, different horsepower, 360, 400, 440 I see here. This is DC12 again, that's the 12 liter, the other one is a 13 liter, and then goes down to 16 liters Euro 5, and then also the Euro 6. I'm assuming when this game was developed that Scania was just switching from the Euro 5 to the Euro 6 engines. Other brands were not yet, that's why they, for instance, like the MAN only goes by Euro 5. For some brands it's pretty easier. Mercedes, the Actros is Euro 5, the new Actros is Euro 6. Same goes for the 2 DAFs, and Stralis for Iveco, Euro 5, the Highway, Euro 6. Sort of how it goes. And then you have different engines available. The highest is the R or the Streamline. No, it has to be the Streamline, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look. The R has 730 horsepower for the Euro 5, but it does not have Euro 6 version of that. But the Streamline does, if I'm not mistaken, for Scania. So that's, yeah, 730 horsepower Euro 6, so that's the highest Euro 6 engine available. 730 horsepower V8, 16 liters. And the highest Euro 5 engine is on the Volvo, I think. Although you have a 2009 and a 2012 version of the Volvo. Most of them are Euro 5 engines in both versions. There's only one Euro 6 engine, and that's this one here. 13 liters, 6 cylinder Euro 6. That's the only one that Volvo has in this game. Of course, nowadays they are running Euro 6 engines, but 750 horsepower, that's the most horsepower you can get, and that's in the Volvo. It's Euro 5 though, so it's not that fuel efficient, that's for sure. The Scania 730 were probably more fuel efficient, but yeah. And then you also have all the kind of gearboxes, which is like, yeah, you have normal gearboxes, you have a retarder. Yeah, not exactly sure how that all works, but it comes down to the fact that the retarders are better than the normal ones. And then you have different 12 gears. 6 gears here is not that good, 12 gears is better, and the 12 plus 2 is even better, I think. And for Mercedes, if I'm not mistaken, it even goes up to, let's have a look. Let's put the Mercedes together. Gigaspace 8 times 4. Engine wise, we take the 625 euro 6, and then you have the gearbox, the power shift, 16 different gears. That's kinda, yeah, the ultimate machine you can build, I guess, although it only has 625 horsepower. But and then the other options, that's like, yeah, you have a standard and an exclusive. In some cases you also have another interior fluting for the V8 especially, stuff like that. Here you can mess about with the colors. Yeah, I'm gonna put, I have one DLC here, which is the metallic paint jobs. You get that by connecting to World of Trucks. So if I put that off, then you just have like, you have the normal colors, which are kinda official Mercedes colors, I guess. Then you can play around with colors as much as you want. Whatever it is you want, you can select if you want more something greenish, and then you can go from, oh come on, from light to a darker green to almost black. That's you can play around with that, and then the same goes metallic. The same situation goes on here. Also here a whole color bar where you can play around with, and then even more specific going from light to dark. If you put the DLC back on, let's see, it probably adds a few extra wraps or something. Let's have a look. Yeah, carbon olive, digitized reality. That's more like, yeah, get like here or there some sort of tint or double. You also have like 3 color combinations, so it's depending on where you look at it. Now it's kind of purple, and on the roof it's kind of bluish, and then sort of, yeah, it's a bit of a visual thing. And then you also have like, you can put a bear on there on the side, or what is this, special transport. And what's this, heavy charge. It's kind of neat. And then no, these things are kind of set. You cannot play around with the colors of the, if you choose one of those. In this case, but I know that, for instance, with Scania, I believe you can play around with that thing. Let's have a look. Which can we take? This one here. Yep. It's like a sticker, but this has like 4 different colors, and then you can play around with it. If you want it more bluish, you get like a bluish, and then you have what's this? The more darker colors, I guess. If you want it, let's see if it changes anything. There you go. It's more like the base of the truck, the chassis itself. You can go like whatever it is you want. If you want it red, and then you can go left and lighter, darker, whatever it is you want. And then also the sign itself you can play around with if you want that green. And then a bit darker. And then yeah, you can make it as pretty or as ugly as you want. That kinda yeah, goes around. Then you also have some interior things that you can do about. And then also yeah, all the other stuff, tires, lights, bull bars, beacons, horns, all kind of things that you can put. The mirrors, for instance, you can do it just like in the base plastic looking thing, or you can do it in the colors as I have them now, or you can do it in chrome and stuff like that. That's kinda yeah, a quick overview of all the trucks in this game. And then but like I said, most of them are locked. So you have to start with like a 4x2 R360, for instance, in the Scania, which is in a Euro 5 engine, but then you can upgrade to a 370 Euro 6, and then step by step, by leveling up, you unlock these other engines. And Engine wise, I believe you have to, like for this one, the 730 unlocks at level 25. And then there are a few accessories where you need level 30, I think. But that's the highest, I believe, at least for Scania. I don't know for the other brands, but for Scania, it's the highest you need to be is level 30, and then you have unlocked everything you want, and then you can create it as you want it. That's sort of how it goes. So I have this thing. Do I have anything else? Yeah, I do. No, those are the truck dealers. If I go into my garage, I'm still working on that, of course. To give you an idea, I have one garage in Brussels. At first I was running it by myself. Now I upgraded it to a medium-sized garage. That means 3 garage spots. I hired 2 female drivers here, and they drive another truck here. RMD 002. That's for Sabrina, and that is like a fully upgraded Iveco Stralis Highway, 560 horsepower. That is the top engine in there. That is what you get for Iveco, and then the MAN TGX for Sabrina. No, for Tina this time. RMD 003, and that is the V8, which is also the most powerful engine. So my drivers have the powerful engine in their brand, and I am still waiting to unlock the highest one available for the Scania. And then I can expand my garage to 5 spots, get 2 more trucks, which I will probably get like the Mercedes and a Volvo or something. The Renaults are as ugly as hell. I'm just gonna keep away from them. Although I need to drive for certain achievements or for certain events, you need to drive all the trucks eventually, but that's like my first garage. Although I'm level 21, it's only my first garage. You do those transports, you let your drivers do, and then you can expand. I have a friend who, because there are more garages out there, you can buy for medium size. You buy them, so that's like 3 spots, 180,000, and then you need to get more trucks, need to get more drivers, and so on. But I have a friend who has the whole map, also DLC map, for Scandinavia and going east and France, and he has like 104 garages, I believe. So if he puts 5 trucks in there, he can get like over 500 trucks. The only problem he had at one point was that he had no more drivers to hire. You have to go to the recruitment office, and there were no more drivers there. But I believe they have updated that now, and but the more recruit offices you find, the more drivers you will have to choose from. So that's sort of how it goes. But how that all goes, I will explain in probably what I'm probably gonna do is create a new profile. That's probably the best thing to explain it all, how this game works for those interested. And so I have one profile here, but you can create a new one, or you can delete this one and just create it, or you can just leave this one. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna create a new profile in one of the next videos and call it RMD Career or something, and we just go step by step how I work my way up, like with this one, to level 21. But then record everything in shorter videos or in a live stream, or I don't know, something like that. This was kinda an overview of the trucks in this game, and the chassis and the engines and all that. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.